What's up, guys? I'm Makai Block with Limitless North, and I want to talk with you about one of the biggest things that you can do that will shortcut your business results, the results that you're getting out of being an entrepreneur, the things that you're running towards, the things that you care about. There's so many things in your life that this one trick, this one skill, this one tip can change for you, can streamline for you, can bring to you so much faster if you would just implement it. And that is creating a process and a system for your business. But it's not just for business. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to get so much out of this little talk. But even if you're not, even if you're just someone looking to create more in their life or to achieve some goal or dream or purpose that you have for yourself, if you create a process and a system for yourself, it will change everything for you. Now, I want to talk about this. I have another video that's going to go up tomorrow about this on the YouTube channel that's very much in depth and in detail, but I'm going to kind of do a different spin on it today, just to show you another side of that. But basically, the more that you can put things into a step-by-step system and process in your life or in your business, the more that you can create predictability. Now, predictability is so important and so crucial, because without it comes stress, comes frustration, comes worry, comes lack. But the more that we can create predictability in what we do, we can control that. We can control what we understand and what we know, and we can shape it for ourselves. But if we don't have predictability via a system or a process, then we have no idea what we're going to get. We have no idea what results will come from the work that we do. And so we find ourselves running around like crazy doing all of these things and not understanding a single result that we're going to get because of that. And we just kind of hope and we wait and we wish, and we just are sitting back to see whatever comes from the work that we've done. And so we'll go do a ton of work. This is so common, and I'm sure you understand this. You go do all this work. You sit down at your computer and you just wipe out an entire day doing stuff, and you don't even know what you did. You just know that you worked really hard. And then you go to bed at night and you're like, I hope something comes in tomorrow as a result of the work I just did. But the reality is, it's so few and far between that we actually get the results we're looking for. And so we end up doing more and more and more craziness and crazy busy work and all of these things. And we try all this stuff, and some of it sticks and some of it doesn't. And we usually don't even remember what the good stuff is, or we don't know where that result came from, because there's no order to what we're doing. So the opposite of that is to create predictability and a system, a step-by-step structure and process that you will do with your business, with your pursuits, with your dreams. This will change everything for you. Let me give you a quick illustration. I own Elevated Clothing. I've been in business for 15 plus years right now. And for the first 13 years, even 14 years, I just did everything to grow my brand. I never had a structure or a system or a process in place. And so I did so many things to grow my company, and I got growth and I got results, but it was just madness, and I wore myself so thin, and I could never repeat the results that I wanted. For the first handful of years, I would get little bits of income here and there. I'd have orders randomly and sporadically on my website. And it wasn't until, 5 or 6 years ago, after I moved down to Los Angeles and really grew my brand by doing all these other things, that I got enough notoriety in the action sports industry and the wakeboard community that my business started growing. And so I had enough traffic to my website and enough people that knew about Elevated that they would start to have consistent orders. Every day or every couple of days I'd get something on the website. And to me, that was amazing, because before I'd go a week or 2 weeks or a month without getting an order, and finally a couple would come in and I'd feel on top of the world, like I'm growing my company. And now it was every couple of days, and it was like, wow, what changed? I'm finally getting, orders coming in consistently. Well, it was just because I'd grown my brand, but I couldn't get orders on my website by doing anything. It was just a result of people knowing who I was, what we were doing here at Elevated, and I started going to all these athlete events and sponsoring athletes all over the world and sponsoring events all over the world and showing up and engaging with people. And so my brand grew because people knew us and we were just everywhere in the action sports industry. So that was great, and it brought in sales, But there's really no way for me to replicate that. And I just was always living in fear and worry and frustration because I didn't know where the money was going to come from. I didn't know if I was going to be able to pay my bills. I didn't know how much money I would make in a month. I was just always guessing and hoping that enough would come in. And it got very scary and very frustrating. And it wasn't until I learned to make a process with my business that things began to change. And that's actually where I'm at right now, is in the middle of doing a very huge change to my companies, to all of my companies, because I've learned the secret of processes and I've seen the results of it. So the idea is that you will do a very specific set of steps consistently, A, B, C, and D, that will lead to E, which is your results. And so if you just stick to a process and you understand that by doing A and B and C and D, I'll get E results. And then if you double A, you know the E will be bigger. If you double B and A, you know the E will be even bigger. And so you can start to change these individual steps and explore their possibilities within them, but you're always doing A, B, C, D, and getting E of some form. Does that make sense? So to give you a very specific example of this, with the new Elevated brand, what I'm doing is we have a brand new website coming out. There will be 15 or so designs that are always available for people to add to their cart and buy, and it, you know, it brands Elevated. It helps people get really cool product, and that's always available to them. But then every single week I have this system, this process that I've designed that I will follow to a T. So every week I'll release a brand new shirt design, a brand new product of some type, and that will kick off the process. But that will start this whole process where then I release that product to my exclusive mailing list and give them the benefit of being loyal fans and customers to get first access to this new design. It's going to be limited. There's only going to be a handful of products. So whether that's 30 or 50, they know that there's a very limited number. So the people that are loyal fans that love this design are going to jump on it at a discount through our mailing list. So they get the first access. And if that doesn't sell out, then it moves to step B, which is releasing it to our athletes. We have this whole group of athletes called On the List. It's everybody that wants to join our athlete program, where we're building relationships and we hook them up with discounts and deals and first access. And so they get it second. Now, they get the opportunity to buy it at a discount. So if it hasn't sold out through the newsletter, it goes to the athletes, and then they have an opportunity to buy it. And if it doesn't sell out there, then finally we release it to the general public via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media channels, and it just goes out to everybody, to this wide network of people that have access to it now, however many of them are left. Now at that stage, what we do is we do Facebook advertisements to really drive new traffic to that product, which causes people to sign up for our mailing list. So we grow our mailing list, which is step A. So we're always feeding back into step A and growing that possibility to make revenue there by the last thing that we do, by step C or D. We also have a video that we've done that we sent out to our mailing list. So when we design the shirt, we do a video in the shop here. We show off the product, the fit. We talk about little, cool features of it, talk about the comfort and what sets our company apart. People can see how it fits on a real person. We can kind of do some cool photo shoots and stuff with it, and that goes out to the mailing list. And then now, once the product goes out to the general public, we publish that video on our blog post. We publish a blog post about the product so that more keywords are going out into Google and registering our company as a greater authority in the action sports and streetwear space. And so more people are coming to our site organically. Plus more people are coming and seeing these videos, so it drives up our YouTube revenue. It really brings our story to more people's fingertips. And we have an opportunity to sell out our products and grow our audience base. And regardless of what happens, whether we sell out or we don't, the next Monday comes around and we do that process all over again. Another shirt design, another clothing product that we release to the mailing list, to the athletes, to the general public via Facebook ads, YouTube, and all of our social media. And then we recreate that process all over again. And what that does is, after we do that a few times, we understand that doing A, B, C, and D gives us E, which is this amount of revenue. So every time we do that, we can expect some amount of revenue between this much and that much. And so it's predictability. right? And you see how that changes. Now all of a sudden, I'm not wondering how much money we're going to make every week or every month. I understand that if we do these things, A, B, C, and D, we'll typically make this much money, which is predictability, which is control, which is peace and comfort. Now all of a sudden we're not stressed. We know that we're going to hit our goals. If we're not hitting our goals, we change something about A, or change something about B or C or D. And so we add more people to our mailing list. We spend time building relationships and getting people to trust us and to love our product more. We add more athletes to our on the list so that we're reaching out to more people and adding more value there. We do better Facebook ads. We do more of a spend on Facebook ads because we know that when we spend this much money, we get this many sales from it. So that's, again, predictability, and it's a process and a system. So do you see how that changes everything? I went from just always doing so much work and not having a single clue what was going to produce the results for me, aside from maybe 2 or 3 things. I knew I could go to an event and sell shirts, and I knew that if I did Facebook posts, like, 10 of them a week, I could probably get like 2 or 3 sales from it. So I went from craziness and randomness and worry and stress and complete ignorance on how much I was going to make to now predictability via a system and a process. Another way to illustrate this for you is, do you ever notice that famous artists, really great artists, have a style that they're known for, right? Think of the best artist that you can imagine, or the most well-known, Picasso. Doesn't he have a very identifying style? And some would say it's not great, others would say they love it. But obviously he did a very specific thing and got results from it. And so artists can do the same thing. Most of the time they just start out by drawing and painting everything and not having a focus, and they don't know what their style is. They don't know what their subject matter is going to be, and they have no idea what their artistic style is. But as they do more and more and more work, they start to find things that they like and things that they're good at, and they start to narrow it down until they get a very specific style, and then they build on that style until they've perfected that style. And at that point, they're considered professional rather than amateur. And isn't that the thing that sets professionals from amateurs apart, is this process, this system that we stick to? So in the same way, the artist has gone from craziness and all over the place and testing all these things to honing it into a very specific process. He knows that when he has a subject matter that he wants to draw or paint or sculpt or whatever, it's going to come out looking a very specific way that is specific to his style. Well, he doesn't even know that he's created a process most of the time, but he has, because it goes through his visual learning. He sees it, he studies it, and he says, I will make these lines that look like that, and I'll translate this part of the image to look like that. And he does it a very specific way every time now that he's a professional, now that he's honed in his style, and it comes out looking very similar to his full body of work. This is when he starts to get noticed and recognized, because he's doing something that people can pay attention to. He's built a brand, he's built a style that people love or hate, or that gets attention one way or another, but it's his. And so if you hear this, if you're hearing me right now, this can change everything for you. If you would start out as an artist and say, I know that I need to build a process for myself. I'm no longer just going to paint everything or draw or paint and draw and sculpt and do this. I'm going to do one thing until I do it so well that it's predictable. That I know when I look at a subject matter, it will come out looking exactly like that style by doing these 5 things to it. By painting it this way, by drawing it that way, and by pushing the medium until it looks like that. And when they do that, they've found their artistic style that they can get known for. Now they can change that all they want, but the important thing is developing a process and a system that their visual art goes through until they get the result that they want. So whether you're a businessman, what's your process going to be? If you're an entrepreneur, what is your process that's going to give you predictability in your life so that you can grow and shape and cultivate that predictability to a point that you understand the results that you're going to get and you can grow them? If you're an employee, what predictability, what system can you implement in your work to make sure that you get your work done effectively, on time, and with great results, so that your boss will be impressed, that your coworkers will be impressed, so that you add value to your company? What process can you implement to cut out the busy work, to cut out the monotony and the tediousness and the craziness, And if you can do that, you'll become so effective and so efficient, and life will change for you. If you want to change your income, create a process that leads to predictability. Create a system that you know steps A, B, C, D lead to E. You want to add E in there, then F becomes your results, right? So just a series of steps that you do consistently over time. If I would have, with my company from day one, known I want to build a mailing list, every week I'll reach out to my mailing list in a specific way. I'll release new products every week. They'll be limited. Even if they don't sell out, who cares? I'll just get rid of them, release another one. Eventually, people catch on and realize that if they want access to the products that I'm releasing and they like what I'm doing, they better jump on it right away. They can't just sit back and hope for the next one because it's going to be gone, right? So if I would have known from day one that I should do that, build a mailing list, release consistent products, limited, so that they sell out, so they're no longer available, develop a specific set of athletes that want to be a part of my company that I can engage with and add value to and give offers to, and discounts and products and limited edition things, and then release it to the general public in a very specific way and do advertising for that product in a specific way, and then put blog posts out for every product that I create so that my brand becomes an authority on the search engines and in the greater web and brings organic traffic to me. If I would have been doing that from step one for 14 years, can you imagine how big my company would be? Because I would have grown every one of those processes all along the way. I wouldn't have worried about 100 different things that I tried to do to build my brand. I would just build my brand in a specific way, doing specific things every single time. So I would have made sure that every week I did the things I needed to do. As it was, I didn't. I did 100 things throughout a week. Most of them I didn't need to do, and the things that I did need to do, I only did once or twice a month because I couldn't get to them enough. But if I did everything that I was supposed to do every single week, can you imagine the results that I would get? Can you imagine the results you would get if you did everything you were supposed to do every single week or every single day? Things would change for you. You would have a much different business if you did them that way. So I know this is going to be a long video. I'll probably do another live stream and go through some of my thoughts and notes on building a process and a system and an effective business. But I just wanted to share that with you. So if you guys are enjoying this, would you give the video a thumbs up? Would you like it? Would you leave a comment and tell me about the processes that you need to implement? Or if you're working on a specific dream or a specific goal or a specific business, let's build a process together. I do brand consulting and business consulting as well, and so if you want to work with me one-on-one, leave a comment or email me at limitlessnorth@gmail.com, and we can work together to come up with a way to really just propel you towards your results that you want, towards predictability that you can then grow. So I'm Makai Block with Limitless North. Thank you for watching. I hope that this impacts you. I hope it helps you shortcut your way to success, and I will see you on the next one. God bless you guys. Best of times.